Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Franchise Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Andrea Bailey Brown, and it's a pleasure to be back here with you talking all things business and franchising. And yes, when you invest in a franchise, you are investing in a business. You are an entrepreneur. And so it's always a pleasure to be here with you to share my insights on this world of franchising and ultimately to have you too become an owner, an investor into a franchise business. So let's get started and let's give you all the goods today. So something that's happening, I'm recording this in the new year. And at the same time, I'm also planning and preparing as a team as we're going to the National Franchise Show in Toronto coming up this weekend. So when this airs, in a few days, we will be at the franchise show, interacting with people. I will also be speaking at that show, and that's something that I love to do. I love to speak and to share my knowledge on how you too can get into this amazing world and this niche world of franchising. I will have 2 sessions that I will be speaking about what aspiring entrepreneurs should know. And I think looking at a startup business versus buying a franchise. So those are the things I will be talking about. So we're busy as a team preparing. And sometimes it's from my day-to-day work that actually brings me ideas on what to talk about on this show and also feedback that we're getting for what people are also looking for. Something that has been on my mind actually is about what are some of the emerging trends and what am I seeing in the world of franchising? And I'm going to take this from a different viewpoint, actually. It's from the viewpoint of a multi-unit franchise owner, which is what I am with the Jiffy Lube brand. And also we're looking at the multi-unit investors and how people are now looking at combining different industries that they're investing in franchising. So having been a franchise owner since 2008 and I've invested in different parts of franchising as well, I really wanted to shine a light on how does this relate to you in the world that you are in and in the job that you currently have. And perhaps you too are thinking about investing in a business, and we need to really learn to look at our skills and our talents that we already have, and knowing that they're not for naught, that we can actually include them and brand them together and build something phenomenal that would work for you, work for your family, and work for building a legacy and generational wealth. So that's the angle that I want to take this from today. So make 2025 your year. I need you to claim it. I need you to claim 2025 as the year that you are going to do the things that you've wanted to do. 2025, you are going to become an entrepreneur. 2025, you're going to invest in and buy that franchise business. Perhaps you have been procrastinating. Perhaps you have been thinking about it all along, but you really haven't gone ahead and pulled the trigger, as they say. What is stopping you? And you know what? The years are going by, and I want you to stop the procrastination and really go for it and figure out once and for all, how do you own a business? How do you buy into something, even if you think you may not be qualified right now, even if you may think you don't have all the money that you need, even if you think you need like $1 million before you can become a franchise owner, I'm going to tell you those are only myths. Those are not true. And you now have to get the truth and get the knowledge. And that's what we bring here on this podcast. My goal is to help you realize that this opportunity of business ownership, specifically in franchising, can also be for you. All right? That's the first thing. I saw something on Instagram and I want to read it to you. And it basically say, don't leave anything for later. Later, the coffee gets cold. Later, you lose interest. Later, the day turns into night. Later, people grow up. Later, people grow old. Later, life goes by. Later, you regret not doing something when you had the chance to. Yes. So that's where I want to start about this idea of leaving things till later. And I can't believe, like when I started, I was saying to you, 2008, I don't know, but it does seem like yesterday when I made the big leap and the big decision that I was going to invest in a business, that I was going to buy a company. And who knew time really is flying by, that it's already like 16 years going into year 17, I would say, starting 2025 now. And the time is going to go no matter what. What will you do during that time and what will your story be? This is the year I'm going to encourage you to create a new story. So let's get back to the main thing we want to talk about today is the rise of the multi-sector, multi-brand owner. Basically, they termed it mumbo, M-U-M-B-O, mumbo. Sounds good, like gumbo, but with an M. I gotta relate it to food. You know, I like to eat. Basically, what we're noticing with people who already have franchise experience and multi-unit experience, they already know how to run and how to operate businesses and how to operate companies. And so what they're doing is they are now using that business knowledge that they have in franchising and investing in other sectors as well. And they're looking, basically, these entrepreneurs are looking for opportunities with great unit level economics in a multitude of verticals and multi-sector. So this is what is basically happening. When I started helping people at our agency, Bailey Brown, the franchise agency, what we were noticing, we thought we were going to only be attracting people who want to buy, are new to franchising, and they're coming in and they're not sure how franchising works. But along the way, we've discovered something else. What we've discovered is people who are looking to buy franchises are already franchise investors. They're already business investors. So they're already into businesses and they're now looking to add franchises to their portfolio or they're looking to expand. So the idea that people were just coming in green with no franchise experience, that may be true, but they already have business experience. So we're seeing a growth and a rise in people who already have franchise experience, business experience. They're looking to buy more franchises as well. For example, one, like a group that people may not have heard of if you're in franchising, it may be familiar to you, but if not, maybe something new, which, they have the Flynn Restaurant Group. This is a large group where they invest in Applebee's, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. You've known some of these places, and I, for one, have frequented, have been to all three of these places. And what they're now doing is they're combining restaurants and gyms, right? So they're now this large group that owns hundreds of restaurants, are now adding fitness into their portfolio, so much so that they have changed their name from the Flynn Restaurant Group to just Flynn Group because they want to really be wide and they really want to expand into different things. And they have added 37 Planet Fitness to their great portfolio. And what people are doing is they're adding multiple hotels, multiple brands in home services, such as like Neighborly. They're really known for the home services brand. When you're looking at becoming a franchise owner, whether it's for the first time or a business owner you're looking to add, it is okay for you to open and to expand your mind. So this is a place where I want you to let go of the limitations that you may have and some of the beliefs that you may actually have about what you can or what you can't do. And so this is where you're going to have to sort of combine things and be okay with that. Do you know, like sometimes there are those friends or people you know that they like fruit on their pizza, like they'll have pineapple pizza and they like the combination, or some people they would do like eat their eggs with ketchup, or, I had a friend who only could eat cucumbers if they had like salt and pepper on it. So there's this combination, and sometimes there's certain things that you see people combine and your brain is like, oh my gosh, how are you eating those two things? But in a way, it just starts to taste really good. like sweet and sour sort of meats and the combination. This is the same thing in franchising. You're cooking up something a little bit different where you're combining different industries together. And when you yourself are looking at a business, how does this relate to you? Well, perhaps you're an accountant and you want to get into buying a business, a mechanic business, and it may seem strange to people, but in franchising, it's not so strange at all. You can do that. You may be a police officer, but you want to get into quick service restaurants like a Taco Bell or so. A teacher that's going to buy a hairdressing salon, or you may be a nurse, but you're looking into the tutoring business. This is where I'm talking about the combination where you have to let go of some of those limitations that you've put on yourself, let go of those self-limiting beliefs that says, I've only been an accountant, I only know numbers, and I don't know if there's anything else I can do. You know what, I've been a teacher my whole life, and I just cannot see how I could run a hairdressing business or how I could run a food company, right? I've been a nurse, I've only worked in that medical field. How am I going to now run a tutoring business having to deal with students and children or a daycare or childcare world, right? This is where you have to let go of what you know about yourself and what you believed is possible for you along the way. I have to say, franchising is super unique because it's the only industry where I see you can be an accountant and you buy into a mechanic franchise. You can be a teacher and you're now basically running a Taco Bell, a food business, or a McDonald's, right? So you have to let go of that because franchising, you will be trained. You will get all the help. You will get the playbook that you actually need. You will get marketing and branding advice. You'll get the brand recognition. So let go of some of those things. And in the multi-sector, multi-unit investment, this is what people are now doing. They're saying, hey, I know how to run a company. I know how to run a business. I've been running 10 locations, 15 locations. Why can't I now take the same business knowledge that I have and include it with something else in order to make it happen and to get it done? So yes, letting go of some of those belief systems and the blocks that you have is going to be one of the first place I would recommend that you actually start. So for me, as you know, I started out as a teacher. If you don't know my story, you can go back and listen to, I believe that is episode maybe 5 or 6 or so, when I got into more of my personal story, how I got into going from a teacher, becoming a multi-million-dollar owner with Jiffy Lube and having multiple locations. That my whole story is there. I have to say, as a multi-unit franchise owner, I've also invested in the waste management world in franchising. And my husband is also invested in the closet world as well. So we are also investing in different things because we love the franchising world. And although we've done independent business as well, so we have a really great vantage point to be able to help you at this agency because we've seen from all different sides of the way that you can actually look at investing and becoming an investor as well. So there's another story. There's a guy, Chris Parrott, how he pronounces his name, who started off owning Subways and then went into the salon suite world. And sometimes, making foot-long subs, and then you're going to the salon suite. They seem miles apart. And this is where I was talking about the food combo. If you're that person, you're creative, where you're mixing things, right, like a mad scientist, that's also what's happening in the world of franchising. And even though they seem like miles apart, he is now running both of those companies because learning your business skills, you can take those business skills and layer it into other worlds, into other industry. So don't limit yourself. If you are listening, you're like, well, I'm only a teacher. How am I going to be a business owner? How am I going to be a franchise owner? I only know this. Let's get rid of some of those limiting words. First of all, the only, just, a little, get rid of those out of your vocabulary, right? Some of you, if you're listening, you're first job, I would say, is to re-language yourself. That is the first job. It is not because you've been speaking in certain ways that really does not help you or it does not serve you. So you will need to start to get rid of some of the way you talk about yourself. I've only been a teacher for so long. What else? Like those are limiting words and they will definitely hold you back. So when I work with my clients and people who want to invest, part of this work is not just about buying a business, because if it was only about buying a business, we would have done it a long time ago. There are some blocks that we have. There's a lack of knowledge that's there. And that is my work in this world, is to bring knowledge to people about things that they may not have known, or basically the lies that you've been telling yourself. And some of these lies need to be retold, rewritten, rewind so that you can have the right version of your story. Did you get that? Did you get all of that? So here's some stats for you. According to 2024, the Franchise Economic Outlook by the International Franchise Association, there were 15,000 franchise units were predicted to open. 15,000. Now, of those 15,000 franchises that were predicted to open, they weren't all going to be opened by new investors or first-time investors or rookies. No, these were going to be opened by people who already own franchises and were going to invest again and become multi-unit franchise owners and multi-brand operators in different sectors, right? So where someone might own like sandwiches mixed in with real estate, when we talked about Chris Perret, that was his story. Subway and the salon suites, right? So looking at combining different industries. I've invested in Jiffy Lube in the oil change world, and then I've also invested in waste management. That is combining, making a really crazy combination, but I feel really solid about my business knowledge to be able to do that. And I know some of you that are listening today, you also have knowledge in your industry that you can also use into owning and operating a business. So some of these multi-unit, multi-brand operators, what they're doing is, of the 15,000, they're part of that. They're looking to expand their portfolios, looking to expand their investment. They're looking to get into a few different things. That way they can basically keep their investments going and branching out, because sometimes you may want to only invest in senior care or only invest in childcare or maybe only in real estate or only in food. But after a while, sometimes the opportunities are no longer there in your region where you live. And in order to expand, you have to say, okay, I've been doing it in this sector only. Maybe it's a good time for me to expand and look into something else. So, and definitely this multi-unit world, more people are looking into it and they are stepping out of their areas and stepping out of the regions that they're in. They're also stepping on the industries that they're investing in. So in 2024, another thing that you need to realize that it was predicted that franchising would add 221,000 new jobs. You can be a part of that in the sense that when you buy a business, you are helping people become employed. And so there's benefits to you. There's definitely benefits to your community as well. And they're expecting that the franchising GDP will continue to grow. So those are some of the things that's happening in this industry. Don't wait until it's too late. Remember what happens when we talk about later, right? Later, the coffee is going to get cold. Later, you lose interest. The later, the darkness, the night will turn to darkness. Like, waiting for later for too many things is part of the procrastination. And in franchising, certain brands in certain territories, they are very limited. There's not an unlimited supply. And after a certain period of time, those brands are no longer available. I remember when I started really focusing and building my agency in about 2019, we're doing business consulting mainly. And by 2020 or so 21, we started to focus on franchising specifically. Some of the brands that I had that I represented, they're no longer in our portfolio. What has happened? Sold out. They are gone. And now you have to wait for what's called resales. When someone is like, I've been doing this for a while, I'm ready to retire, I'm ready to maybe invest in something else. That way you're not in control. You are waiting for someone else to give you the go ahead, right? So that's what happens when you procrastinate in this industry. Brands that we had, I'm noticing that they're getting sold out. They're getting sold out. Even I do believe in 2025, the number of people that we will help to become franchise owners will be doubling and tripling because people are becoming more aware of this industry, more aware of the work that we're doing. And our mission is to help people to build wealth through franchising. And that is happening because we are matching them with the right brands. I would strongly recommend, if you don't know if your skills and your talent, like what's a good fit? What brands can I invest in? I've been only an accountant, or I've been a nurse, I've been a teacher, I've been a mom, I've been supporting the household. What are my skills? Do a formal assessment. And with the formal assessment, we will be able to help you figure out and match you with the right brands for you. Don't leave it to chance, because left to your own accord, what you're going to do is you're going to make things up and say, well, I kind of wanted to be, have a hair salon, but I also always like food. And I really think, if I could do something like with my sister and start something clothing or, kids stuff, I'm not sure, but I've heard good things about it. Like, what's the hottest industry right now? You're going to go all over the place, all around. And then by the time it is going to be mid-year and then the end of the year again. And you're like, what have I done? What have I really done? You won't have much to show for it. So I'm going to encourage you, when you reach out to our agency, reach out for help. We will be able to match you with the right business and the right concept for you. Whether this is your first franchise you'd like to invest in, or whether you are an accredited investor and you've already invested, but you're looking to match to different things to add more brands to your portfolio, I would be more than happy to help you. Our team would be more than happy to help you realize that dream and transform you from just having an idea to actually owning a business. And that is what we do, people. We help people to reach their goals and to achieve their dreams. As I said, I need you to claim 2025 as your year. 2025, you are going to strive and thrive. That's the word. 2025, you will thrive. And we're going to make sure that we get you into a business and we help you through everything from the idea phase all the way until the grand opening when you have those keys in hand. And we stick with you throughout the entire process. We help you understand the franchise agreement, franchise disclosure documents. We refer you to our legal team, partners, accounting, all the things that you need. We help you to evaluate the franchises. We give you, anywhere from 5 brands all the way up to unlimited, depending on how you want to work with us. We let you decide on that. But the ultimate thing is that we are going to stick with you from the idea all the way until you open your business, and we support you throughout the entire process. And that's why our clients are really successful. And coming up on our podcast soon, we're going to be starting to feature some of those successful people and some of the successful clients whom we have helped, whom we have worked with. I really hope 2025, you are going to claim it. We're going to stop procrastination, leave later behind, and you are going to realize your dream as a franchise owner, whether it's the first time or you're becoming a multi-unit, multi-brand operator. I hope this episode brought you so much clarity and understanding. Leave us a review, please, and I cannot wait until we will talk again. Take care. Bye-bye.